Lisbon isn't just another European capital. It's a city where ancient ruins hide beneath your feet, where trams from the 1900s still rattle through narrow streets, and where sea explorers once set sail to change the world. In this video, we'll count down the 15 best things to do in Lisbon, from hidden Roman tunnels only open a few days a year to pastel-colored rooftops, Gothic ruins, futuristic museums, and food that monks invented centuries ago. Whether you're planning your first trip or your fifth, this list has surprises even locals don't expect. And trust us, you'll want to stick around for number 1, because almost no tourist gets to see it. And yes, you'll need luck just to get inside. Let's dive in. Number 15, the Pink Street. Lisbon's most photogenic street used to be its most forbidden. Rua Nova do Carvalho, better known as Pink Street, was once the city's red light district, a place packed with sailors, smugglers, and smoke-filled bars, where locals crossed the street to avoid walking through. Today, it's painted bright pink. Literally. By day, it's a magnet for photo shoots and mural art. By night, it becomes one of Lisbon's hottest nightlife zones, with neon-lit clubs, trendy lounges, and underground bars that used to be actual brothels. The wildest part? Many of these stylish spots kept their past hidden in plain sight. Look closely, and you'll see old tiles, iron gates, and secret doors layered under minimalist design. It's the perfect symbol of Lisbon itself, a city that doesn't erase its past, it reinvents it. But transformation isn't always clean. Just across town stands a church with no roof and a story frozen in rubble. Number 14, Miradouro da Senhora do Monte. Lisbon has no shortage of viewpoints. But if you want the one locals keep to themselves, this is it. Miradouro da Senhora do Monte sits high above the city, tucked behind quiet alleyways in the Graça neighborhood. It's not packed with souvenir stands or tourist buses, just a peaceful terrace, a small white chapel, and a view that will leave you speechless. From here, you can see it all. The São Jorge Castle on its hill, the Tagus River glittering below, and the sea of red rooftops stretching to the horizon. Come at sunset, and the entire city glows gold. It's romantic, cinematic, and somehow, still calm. Unlike other Miradouros, this one feels like a secret. Maybe it's the steep climb, or maybe Lisbon just wants to reward those who wander off the main path. But don't stay still too long, because a museum just down the hill holds masterpieces and mysteries from across centuries and continents. Number 13, Calouste Gulbenkian Museum. Tucked behind a row of quiet trees lies one of Europe's greatest hidden treasures, and most travelers walk right past it. The Calouste Gulbenkian Museum holds a private art collection so valuable it feels like stepping inside a billionaire's secret vault, because that's exactly what it is. Gulbenkian was an oil tycoon, so wealthy they called him Mr. 5%, but instead of yachts or palaces, he collected beauty. Rembrandt, Monet, Rodin, ancient Egyptian jewelry, Persian carpets, Chinese porcelain, all now resting in Lisbon. The galleries are calm, quiet, and never crowded. You're not herded along, you wander, discover, and breathe. Outside, peaceful gardens with fountains and hidden benches make the museum feel more like a sanctuary than a tourist spot. Even locals come here to escape the city. And the best part? Gulbenkian wasn't even Portuguese, but he loved Lisbon so much he chose to leave everything here. His legacy? Pure generosity, wrapped in gold frames. But now, we're going from art that hangs to art that covers entire buildings. Number 12, National Tile Museum. Lisbon isn't just decorated with art, it's built from it. Across the city, you'll spot colorful tiles, azulejos, on walls, churches, metro stations. But if you want to know where it all began, there's only one place to go: the National Tile Museum. Housed in a 16th century convent, this museum is more than a gallery. It's a journey through 500 years of Portuguese tile work, from Moorish motifs to Renaissance scenes and even modern art in ceramic form. The star of the show? A 75-foot mural made entirely of tiles showing what Lisbon looked like before the Great Earthquake of 1755. It's haunting and stunning. You'll see churches, streets, entire neighborhoods, frozen in time. Wander deeper and you'll find a chapel where sacred meets artistic, a golden altar wrapped in intricate blue and white tile. It's quiet, unexpected, and emotional. These aren't just decorations, they're stories baked in fire and stone. But if that felt soulful, Wait until you see what happens when Lisbon's creativity explodes inside an abandoned factory. Number 11. LX Factory. If Lisbon had a heartbeat, it would echo through the walls of LX Factory. Once a forgotten textile factory from the 1800s, it sat crumbling for decades, until a wave of artists, designers, and rebels took it over and turned it into Lisbon's boldest creative district. Now it's a living canvas, graffiti murals on every wall, indie shops hidden behind old iron doors, rooftop bars serving craft cocktails over the bridge skyline. You'll find vinyl record stores, tattoo studios, street food stalls, vintage fashion, and cafes that double as art galleries. And in the center, Livraria Ler Devagar, a surreal bookstore filled with flying bicycles, spiral staircases, and books stacked sky-high in an old printing press. This isn't a museum. It's raw, alive, constantly changing. It's where Lisbon lets go of the past and builds the future with spray paint, espresso, and poetry on brick. But if you think that's wild, the next place is filled with wild animals, and it's not what you expect. Number 10. Lisbon Zoo. Dolphins, monkeys, lions. Sure, Lisbon Zoo has them all. But this place is far more than a kid's day out. Founded in 1884, it's the oldest zoo on the Iberian Peninsula, and one of Europe's few that blends historic charm with serious conservation science. With over 2,000 animals from 300 species, the zoo leads global efforts in endangered species rescue, ethical breeding, and wildlife research. From rare reptiles to snow-white tigers, every enclosure is built with care and purpose. But here's the twist. You can see it all from above. Step into the 20-minute cable car ride, floating silently over tree canopies and animal habitats. It's peaceful, surreal, and gives you a bird's-eye view without stressing the animals. Even the surroundings feel magical. Botanical gardens, shaded walkways, lakes, and century-old architecture turn this zoo into a full-on nature escape. It's Lisbon's way of proving that entertainment and ethics can coexist beautifully. But now, we trade animals for architecture and glide straight into a museum that looks like it was built by the river itself. Number 9. MAAT. It doesn't just sit beside the river, it flows into it. This is MAAT, the Museum of Art, Architecture and Technology, and it might be Lisbon's most daring building. Opened in 2016, it looks like a futuristic wave curling up from the Tagus River. Its sleek, reflective rooftop isn't just design, you can walk across it with panoramic views of the water and the 25 de Abril Bridge. Just standing there feels cinematic. Inside, you won't find dusty paintings. Instead, rotating exhibits that fuse digital art, experimental design, climate tech, and interactive architecture. One month, it's a glowing light sculpture, the next, a room where AI paints sound. But the real curveball is next door. The Tejo Power Station, a massive, century-old brick building once used to power Lisbon. Now, a museum with turbines, steam engines, and exhibits that feel pulled from a sci-fi set. Retro on the outside, futuristic on the inside, this place is Lisbon in a nutshell. But now, we trade turbines for tanks and enter a world where the walls are made of water. Number 8. Oceanário de Lisboa. It's not just Europe's largest aquarium, it's a brilliant underwater illusion. Originally built for Expo 98, the Oceanário de Lisboa is home to over 16,000 sea creatures, from playful otters and glowing jellyfish to stealthy sharks and majestic rays. But it's the central tank that rewires your brain. 4 giant viewing panels are spread throughout the building, each showing the same ocean habitat from different angles. No matter where you walk, it feels like the ocean is following you, vast, borderless, and alive. You'll see penguins on snowy slopes, coral reefs buzzing with color, and sea turtles floating by like old sailors on a slow cruise. But this isn't just entertainment. The Oceanário leads global efforts in marine conservation, using immersive exhibits to teach, inspire, and challenge how we see the oceans. It's soothing, stunning, and surprisingly emotional. But now, we rise from the depths and head to the surface for a riverside square that once housed kings, merchants, and an arch that lets you see Lisbon from the sky. Number 7. Praça do Comércio. Today, it's grand. A vast open square lined with golden buildings looking out across the Tagus River. But back in 1755, Praça do Comércio was nothing but rubble. A powerful earthquake, followed by a tsunami and fire, leveled much of Lisbon, including the royal palace that once stood right here. What rose from the ashes wasn't just a plaza, it was a statement. The square was rebuilt as a symbol of Lisbon's resilience, with the Arco de Rua Augusta at its heart, a towering triumphal arch you can climb for panoramic views of the city and river. Step beyond the arch, and you're in Rua Augusta, a lively pedestrian avenue of cafes, street performers, and black and white tiled sidewalks. Nearby, Rocio Square adds 18th-century fountains and hypnotic wave-patterned stones, and right by the water, Cais das Colunas, once a landing spot for kings, now a peaceful place to watch ferries drift by. But Lisbon's true legacy isn't just stone and sea. Next up, a monastery so grand it launched explorers, and gave the world a desert obsession. Number 6. Jerónimos Monastery. If walls could talk, Jerónimos Monastery would whisper tales of explorers, kings, and yes, egg tarts. Built in 1501 and funded by Portugal's golden age of exploration, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is a masterpiece of Manueline architecture, a flamboyant, ocean-inspired Gothic style with stone ropes, anchors, and seashells carved into every arch. Inside, you'll find peaceful two-story cloisters that feel like walking through sacred lacework. Then step into the Church of Santa Maria, final resting place of Vasco da Gama, the man who opened the sea route to India and changed global trade forever. But here's the secret most tourists miss. The original recipe for Portugal's famous pastéis de nata was created here by monks. When funds ran low, they sold the tarts to survive. Today, the Pastéis de Belém bakery still uses that closely guarded recipe. So yes, one site gave the world both empires and dessert. But next, we visit a riverside tower built for war that somehow survived fire, floods, and the fury of Lisbon's greatest disaster. Number 5. Belém Tower. It may look like a fairy tale castle floating on water, but the Belém Tower was built for war. Completed in the early 1500s, it guarded the mouth of the Tagus River, with cannons aimed at enemy ships and pirates. Part military fort, part ceremonial gateway, it was the last thing sailors saw before heading into the unknown, and the first sign of home when they returned. Its Manueline architecture is rich with maritime details: ropes, watchtowers, stone crosses, and royal emblems. But what truly makes it legendary? In 1755, Lisbon was hit by one of the deadliest earthquakes in history, followed by tsunamis and fires. The coastline changed, the island shifted, but somehow the tower survived. Climb the narrow stairs, and you'll get a view that once belonged to explorers chasing glory across oceans. And just steps away, a towering tribute to that age of discovery, carved in stone, facing the sea. Number 4. Carmo Convent. Once the largest church in Lisbon, the Carmo Convent towered over the city. But on the morning of November 1st, 1755, everything changed. A massive earthquake struck, then fires, then a tsunami. Much of Lisbon crumbled, and the convent collapsed with it. But instead of rebuilding it, the city made a radical choice: leave the ruins as they were. Today you stand beneath stone arches open to the sky, where the roof once stood. There's no ceiling, no stained glass, just wind, light, and silence. It's haunting, and strangely beautiful. Inside, a small archaeological museum houses ancient relics, Roman tombs, and even a pair of Peruvian mummies. And for the full experience, a 15-minute holographic projection brings the story of the quake and the convent vividly to life. This isn't just a ruin, it's a monument to survival. But not everything crumbled in that quake. Some parts of Lisbon, they rose even higher, all the way to a castle on the city's oldest hill. Number 3. São Jorge Castle. High above Lisbon, perched on the city's oldest hill, stands São Jorge Castle, a fortress that has seen it all. Originally built by the Moors in the 11th century, it was captured during the siege of 1147, becoming a royal residence and military stronghold. Its stone walls, ancient towers, and narrow walkways still echo with the footsteps of kings, soldiers, and spies. But here's the twist. Beneath the castle lie archaeological ruins spanning 3 civilizations: Roman, Islamic, and even prehistoric. Every stone you step on carries a piece of Lisbon's hidden past. Climb the ramparts and you'll be rewarded with panoramic views of Alfama, the Tagus River, and the orange-tiled maze of rooftops below. And don't be surprised if a peacock struts by. They live here now, loud and unapologetic. It's not just a monument, it's a 1,000-year-old time machine. But once you've ruled the city from above, It's time to explore Lisbon from ground level, in vehicles that haven't changed in decades. Number 2. Trams, funiculars and lifts. In Lisbon, the best way to move is to travel back in time. Forget modern buses. Here, your ride might be a rattling yellow tram, a climbing funicular, or even a neo-Gothic elevator straight out of a fantasy novel. Start with Tram 28, Lisbon's most iconic. Its polished wood interiors creak as it twists through Alfama's tight alleys, gliding past tiled facades and window boxes like it's stuck between the past and present. Then ride the Bica funicular, graffiti-covered and charmingly slow like a staircase that moves. Or take the Gloria funicular, surrounded by bold street art that turns every trip into a moving gallery. And don't miss the Santa Justa lift, designed by a student of Gustav Eiffel. Built in 1902, its iron structure rises straight into the sky, and from the top, Lisbon unfolds like a painting. These rides aren't just transport. They're living pieces of history, rattling proof that the city honors its past, and invites you to ride along. But not all of Lisbon's stories ride above ground. Some are hidden deep beneath its streets, where Roman ruins sleep in the shadows, and time only opens the door a few days a year. Number 1. Lisbon beneath the surface. What if Lisbon had a secret, hiding just below your feet? Tucked beneath the cobbled streets of downtown lies one of the city's most mysterious and exclusive sites, the Roman Galleries, a network of ancient tunnels built nearly 2,000 years ago. These stone chambers once supported Roman buildings, and today, they quite literally hold up modern Lisbon. Arched ceilings, drainage channels, and eerie passageways remain intact, untouched by centuries of change above. But here's the kicker. These galleries are only open to the public a few days a year. Demand is so high the city runs a lottery. No ticket, no entry. If you're lucky enough to go down there, it doesn't feel like tourism. It feels like trespassing through time. Quiet, damp, echoing with a history that refuses to disappear. It's not flashy. It's not crowded. It's just real. And hauntingly unforgettable. And with that, our countdown comes to a close. From rooftops to riverbanks, monasteries to underground mysteries, these were the 15 best things to do in Lisbon. Now the only question is, which one will you explore first? Thank you for watching. We wish you an amazing trip to Lisbon.